What we're going to be doing today, this motor uses 40 series chain. So I got a 40 series sprocket, 22 tooth, but as you can see, one single hole on the inside. See, with what we're replacing, got a very large opening in the middle and a bolt pattern to hold it on. I'm going to be turning this to that somehow. Alright, I got the sprocket off, but as you can see, it's keyed into the wheel and it's got these little rubber bumpers inside there that the sprocket rides on right there. That's to take down some of the harshness from the chain so you don't feel the vibration in the bike. But then I got to get this off of that without messing it up. See what we can do. So there's our bolt pattern. As you can see, the new sprocket is much larger than the old one. Reason for that, their engine, unlike the engine we took out, doesn't have any gears. It's a torque converter which acts as a transmission, but went with a larger sprocket, so all the power that Predator engine has will allow that to happen. Instead of bogging it down, like if you're at a stop sign or you're trying to take off, be able to without pushing it. The torque converter is going to take care of most of that. We can always get a smaller sprocket if we want to go faster. This essentially is what we're going to be doing. Turning that flat plate into that. I need to get a hole saw, so I need to measure how big that hole is. And I also need a drill bit for that hole right there, so I need to measure that hole. See how big this is. I'm my own cameraman today. So we're going to go across 2 7/16. And then the holes I need to drill out will be a hair less than 7/16. A little larger than 3/8. It's a Japanese bike, so everything's metric. But we're in America. And all these bolts do right here is hold sprocket to that edge running around the outside, just like the wheels in your car when they're what they call hub centric. This surface right here that goes all the way around is what holds sprocket center. These bolt holes right here just hold the sprocket on so it doesn't come off. Also, when I go to the hardware store to get everything I need to do this, I also should mention that the carburetor, if you remember last time we taped when we were fitting the engine, the air box and these studs especially were way too long for me to be able to fit that carburetor against this frame bar right here. The carburetor will fit there fine, but with the studs won't let me do it. So I'm having to go to the hardware store to get this thread. It's an M6. I did look that up with the Predators. It's an M6, but I don't know the thread pitch. I'll find out when I get there. But instead of using studs to hold the carburetor on, that's way too long as you can see. I'm just going to get some M6 bolts that are the length of the carburetor. So thread engagement, which is there, plus the length of the carburetor, which is what, 2 1/8? 2 1/8 plus a half. So long they need to be. Okay, I got all the tools now. 2 different places. Got washers, a hole saw for the sprocket. The washers are for the bolts, the new metric bolts that I got to replace Predator's carburetor studs right there, 2 of them. We'll see if we can't get those on there real quick before I get started making noise. Got a flux cord welding nozzle because my welder, even though it's a MIG gun, it's gasless, so I don't need the big copper gas tip on it. So I got a flux cord nozzle. See if that helps me out since it's gasless. I got the chuck for the hole saw. See if we can't put the carburetor in.